طريقتنا الصوب في العالمين جميعا. We are asking support from our Shaykh, inshallah, to send us something that is going to be useful for us in these days. This tariqat, it is based on association. With association, believers will find more ammunition to fight against their shaitan and their nafs. Find way how to negotiate living in this world. This world is our enemy. Don't try to make this world to be your friend. It is created as your enemy. This world, it is the lowest of the low. We're supposed to live in it. We're not supposed to put it in our hearts. Now it is winter time. We're talking about how cold it is. May Allah protect us against the cold part of hell. Because there's a hot part of hell and there's a cold part of hell. Those who are living in climates where there are seasons, there's blessings in that. There's a lot of blessings in that. It's supposed to make the man to think and to remember the favors of our Lord. To remember. If you don't remember, if you take everything for granted, even if you're living in a palace, it will become tasteless for you. Then you start complaining about the smallest thing because you're not remembering about the favor of your Lord that He has given us. Now, in this winter time, everything is covered in white. There is a coffin. There is a funeral shroud. And the whole world now is kind of dead. And Allah is saying, now look, I will give it life again. But this kind of weather also is a very big blessing, because not too many diseases can survive in this kind of cold. At the very least, people are not going to be so convinced that this world is their friend, because this world now, try to stand outside there for 10 minutes, 1 hour, you know this world is there to kill you. Correct? You are going to be so fashionable. Today's fashion is to show as much skin as you can. In the old days, the high fashion is to put on as many layers of clothes to show how high-born, how rich you are. Only the slaves, they are showing skin. Now we all become slaves because they're teaching from the young ones. Young, they don't even enter into a childhood. They say, you must show your skin. More skin, especially to the women, more skin you show, more people will love you. At the same time, they say, don't follow Islam because it's making you, it doesn't give you any rights. This world now. Now, can you go out there and be fashionable? No, you cannot. You cannot show any part of your skin. In weather like this, if the wind blow a little bit, even the men going to start wearing burqa, covering everything, correct? Covering their hands, covering their feet, covering their faces. It's making us to think. You must think, because you have been created to think. How is this? Showing you how weak we are. And Allah, when He loves that servant, He's going to make him to understand how weak he is and how great his Lord is and how merciful his Lord is. Sign that Allah does not love that servant. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not love that one. Prophet is saying Allah will not even give him a toothache. So it's very fashionable these days. People are talking about depression and this and that in Islam and saying that, oh, even Prophet was depressed. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not send revelation to him for 6 months. You think your depression and the Prophet's depression is the same? Everyone's saying it's okay to be depressed. You see, even Prophet was depressed. Is it the same? What are you depressed about? You're depressed because you like someone and someone doesn't like you back. You're depressed because you want to get something and you couldn't. You're depressed because you want to get this much and you couldn't. You're depressed only because of your desires and only because of this dunya, because your ego. Because to be depressed about Allah is completely something else. To be depressed that you are angering Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is something else. That's not real depression. Because if you are worried about angering Allah, worried about being a bad servant, and you are depressed because of that, 1, 2, 3, don't worry. That one will lift that from you very easily, and you'll come to your senses very easily. You'll understand. Then your faith is going to be up, and it is going to stay up. If you're depressed about this world, you're depressed because you like this girl doesn't like you back, and you get very depressed. And you think the only way out of this depression is nothing to do with Allah, His Prophet, it's to do with this desire that you want. What happens when you get it? We've gone through this before. You want something so bad, you get very sad, and then you get it. Then what? Then what? You stay happy? No. It passes very quickly. It becomes tasteless very quickly. You start fighting very quickly. Then you're going to look for another thing that you cannot get. You become depressed again and again and again. And it goes around and around and around and around. Because you don't understand what is that emptiness. Prophet ﷺ, he was sad. Because, not because he was saying, oh Allah, you have abandoned me. Hasha astaghfirullah. No. He was very afraid. Yeah, you understand heaviness that he's carrying? He's doing everything, nothing for his own sake, nothing for his own ego, nothing for his own stomach. Everything for his Lord and everything for us, his ummah. He's doing his job 100%, and still his Lord is testing him. His Lord is testing him. Our Lord is testing us? No. We're pulling the curses of Allah on us because we become disobedient or go the wrong direction. Then we say this is a test. It's not a test. You take a detour. You're supposed to be on the main highway. You took a detour and you get lost. You cannot say, oh, Allah is testing me. You took the detour. Allah is saying, take the detour. No, Allah is saying, stay on the right way. So don't fool yourself. So how are you going to come out from this? When you say, okay, stop, I made a mistake. I have to come out from this lost situation back to the main road. That's the time you're going to pull yourself out from depression. Yes, that's the time you're going to pull yourself out from heedlessness. When you are studying yourself, when you are understanding why you're doing, why you're repeating the same pattern over and over and over and over and over again. Because man, Allah is describing mankind, you are ungrateful. Mankind always forgets. That's why Allah is saying, be grateful. Remember your Lord. Remember the mercy of your Lord, because man is ungrateful. And Allah is saying, remember. Don't forget. Because man forgets. Once he gets something that it wants, it forgets about everything. So now, these seasons must make us to remember. These seasons, in reality, especially if you look, this technology has only been here for what? Less than 100 years, really. Correct? This is what, 2017? 1917, do you think we have all this technology? Maybe not even 1% that we had. So mankind living with this kind of technology for thousands of years, it's only in the last, let's say, 50 years that we've had this technology. And what has it made us to become? Technology promises. It says you're going to become better. You have more free time to spend with your loved ones. Is that true? So everything that technology is promising you for a good life, it is like a drug. It feels good. Then after that you're hooked, and you know that slowly is destroying you. So when man, without this technology, just living in the technology of Allah, which is this nature, when he understands the creation of Allah, when he looks and he thinks, that's the time it will bring him to faith. That's the time he will understand himself. He will start understanding his Lord. If you're just studying the technology, all technology is for what? To make us to remember Allah? No, it is to make our desires, to fulfill our desires, that's all. If we are more connected now with his natural lifestyle a little bit, without doing anything, without reading books, without people telling you anything, you come to understand because Allah has given you that. Then Allah sent prophets and Allah sends holy people to remind you over and over again. But this is entirely up to you. You want to change or you don't want to change. Most people, they don't want to change. Most people, they're very stubborn, which is why stubbornness, it is a very big part. You have to get rid of the stubbornness. With anger, jealousy, arrogance, stubbornness, you have to get rid of it because so many people, they are stubborn. They don't want to change. Prophets coming, speaking to them for hundreds of years, almost 1,000 years, the Prophet Nuh alayhi salam speaking to his nation, they still don't change. Every prophet that they come, their own people start mocking them. They're seeing miracles. The awliya, they come, so many they don't want to change. Be careful. Because while you still has this breath of life, you are supposed to change. That is a given. This world, this time, in this dimension, in this world, it's changing. There's not going to be any time, as you understand, after this time. When you are in the grave, you are going into a completely different time than that time. You cannot understand it. It's going to go crazy if you try to. It's going to explode your mind. We think this is natural. This is not natural. This is only for a specific duration. Now, we're breathing air. If you put you into the water, you will drown. You cannot, but you forget. Physically, when we were in a mother's womb, we're breathing water, not air. If you take that baby out before it is ready and it starts breathing this air, it will poison it. We must change. This is why the prophets, they came, and the awliya Allah, they come. Don't use them just to justify your own desires and just to use them to satisfy your wishes. You must change. You don't want to, then they're going to change you when you're not breathing. That time you cannot escape. You cannot cry for help. All chances are finished. Everyone is going to go through that. Doesn't matter if you're Muslim or non-Muslim. Everyone is going to go through that. So the intelligent ones are the ones that are going to think a little bit and to say, I must change a little bit. I must try as much as I can. I cannot change too much. I cannot take that medicine too much. Let me at least hang around with people who are healthy, not hang around with people who are sick. Let me hang around with the doctor at least once a week. You know, if you're taking care of your own physical health, this is what you're going to do. But you think your spirituality doesn't need any help? We are in a world that is completely opposite to spirituality. We're in a world that is completely the enemies of spirituality. It needs more help. Inshallah, get rid of this stubbornness. Be with healthy people a little bit. See how they live. Follow them. And that time will be easy. Even the difficulties of this world, it will be easy because you understand what it is for. When you start understanding and you start studying, you're not just feeling the pain anymore. You're seeing where it came from and where it's going to go. May Allah make it easy, inshallah. Wa min Allahu tawfiq. Al-Fatiha. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.